Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Jenny. I'm here today to share with you my May reading plans. So, where to start this month? We've got a lot going on, a lot of different areas that I'm reading in, but I'm just gonna grab a few here and get going. One book I'm reading is The Little Book of Hygge, The Danish Way to Live Well by Meek Wiking. I'm not sure if that's how to say his name. So I've had this book for a really long time. You may remember when Hygge was really popular and everyone was talking about it, and my husband bought me this book around that time and I just never got to it. And because we moved into a new home and I'm decorating that home and I'm trying to get the vibe, I definitely love the idea of Hygge, that being this like cozy, warm place to like relax but also hang out with people, and there's candles and there's blankets and there's tea, and it's really it is a huge part of the vibe that I'm going for, I would say. So I wanted to read this, and really it's about what the concept is, what it is, why Danish people are so happy, and statistics around it and things like that. And it has lovely photographs. So it's really, I don't think I'll talk about this book again. I'm not even sure if I would wrap it up. I might, but it's really about a book of inspiration, a book of just picking it up here and there and reading it. I have no set date on when I will be finishing this. So maybe I will wrap it up, but it probably will not be in the May wrap up. It may be in June or July or something like that. So that is one. Next, we have my Patreon book club read for the months of April, May, and June. That is How to Be an Artist by Jerry Saltz. We are only through the first little bit. If you wanted to join in, please check out the Patreon link down below. This book is very pleasant to read. It's got small vignettes with photographs. It's going to be super easy for anyone to catch up who would like to. Please join us if you are so inclined to read this in community and chat about it. Okay, so next we have my two novels off of my TBR, like my personal at-home bookshelf TBR. This is part of it behind me that I've chosen to read for the month of May. The first one is a Marian Engel novel called The Honeymoon Festival. So I've read Bear by Marian Engel. It was just an amazing read. It stays with me to this day. And I had picked this one up, I think, in a little free library and wanted to, give her another try. I really like the premise of this. So the Honeymoon Festival chronicles one night in the life of Min Burge, a former starlet, now nearer 40 than 30, with 3 children and pregnant with a 4th. Her husband is away on assignment, and Min vaguely prepares for a party given in honor of Honeyman, a movie director who once was her lover in Paris. So I thought this was interesting actually to read this because it's got a little bit of a vibe that sounds like All Fours by Miranda July, which is like a super popular book right now. It's so popular that I didn't even bother to put myself on the wait list for it at the library. I think when I was looking, it was number 44 on 5-10 copies or something like that. So but I just thought this would be an interesting one to try. I really enjoyed the first book of Marian Engel's that I read, and I want to read more of her books. So that is novel number 1. Novel number 2 is The Chessmen, which is the 3rd book in the series. I think the series might just be called The Hebrides. So basically, Peter May writes mysteries, and this is the 3rd in the mysteries around Finn McLeod, who is an inspector who grew up on the Isle of Lewis in the Hebrides, and the first 2 books has him kind of coming and going back, but then getting entangled with everyone again in his hometown. And then in this book, he has permanently settled again on the Isle of Lewis. He is running security for a estate and gets tangled up into a a problem and ends up uncovering a dead body that had been someone who had disappeared years ago. It ends up being someone he knew. They end up discovering that this man didn't just in fact disappear, but was also murdered. And so the mystery ensues from there. So Peter May actually just wrote a 4th book with Finn McLeod that came out this year. So I'm excited to get to this one and then eventually read the next one as well. Okay, so I have a little bit of a reading project going on, and part of that reading project is to listen to Eat, Pray, Love by Elizabeth Gilbert. It is entirely possible that I'm the last person on this earth who has not read this book. But I noticed a little bit of a kind of theme happening with some of my other reads over the last month. And I decided to listen to this on audio to see if I am into the hype. I have seen the film. I have never read the book. So I'm currently on the wait list for this from the library, and I'm excited to check it out and see if it is as poignant of a memoir for me as it has been for other people. And so there are some other memoirs going on for me this month. Another one is called Grace, a memoir by Grace Coddington. Grace Coddington was and is and continues to be a style icon, but she was instrumental in styling some of my personal favorite American Vogue spreads from the 1990s. She has a really interesting life and history, and I want to hear her thoughts on fashion, and so I'm excited to read her memoir. And I have another memoir as well on my list, and that is Hold Still by Sally Mann. You may remember Art for the Ladylike by Whitney Otto, which I wrapped up in April, and in that, Sally Mann was one of the photographers featured. I have had her memoir on my TBR for a very long time, and I had obviously was familiarized with her work through reading the Whitney Otto book, but then I also heard on a podcast, the Artist Mother podcast, 2 of the artists on there talking about how good her memoir is. And so I thought, well, I've heard all this and it's on my library TBR, so I might as well put it on my list for the month of May. So I have done that as well. And so hopefully it won't be too much of a challenge to get to it. In terms of my Fresh Reads project, if you're not familiar with what that is, I created a list of fresh reads that I wanted to read for the year 2025. And I have been pretty consistent with those. I have a whole list of vlogs that I've been making about my fresh reads thus far. And so for the month of May, my plan is to read one of the short list of the International Booker Prize, and that is A Leopard Skin Hat by Anne Serre, translated from the French by Mark Hutchinson. So I'm on hold. I have this on hold at the library. It's supposed to come in on May 10th, so I will get to it then. It was interesting because it was really the only book on that list that really appealed to me. The other ones just I didn't feel as compelled to read. So hopefully I will enjoy this one as my fresh read. And I also still have The Safekeep by Yael van der Wouden on my on hold as well, but I am number 12 on 4 copies or something like that. So the number is coming down, but I don't anticipate that I'll be reading it in May. If by some chance some people returned it early and I get it in May, then I will. And then I will be also picking out a Stella Prize, which is the Australian Women Writers Prize book, to be reading very shortly. If not the end of May, then in June, but I will talk about that one on my June TBR. And I don't know why, but spring is my favorite time of year to read poetry. I have yet to read a poetry collection in 2025. And so I put I Can't Talk About the Trees Without the Blood by Tiana Clark on my list for this month. And I believe that Tiana Clark is an African-American poet talking about issues of race in some capacity in her poetry. So I'm looking forward to reading that this month as well. Yeah, so there's a lot of books on here. I'm not exactly sure, which ones are going to end up being part of my May reading wrap up, but you will just have to wait and see on that one. I hope you are all having a really great start to your reading. I can't actually believe that we're already in May. The time moves so quickly these days. So yeah, I want to thank you so much for watching, and I will be back again soon with another video.